Hey friends, it's Tracy. Thanks so much for joining today, guys. I have some Rustic Country Christmas DIYs and crafts to share with you. A little vintage vibe thrown in there. I am teaming up with my friend Linda from Linda's DIY by Design. She will have some amazing crafts as well. She always does. I'll have her video as well as her channel linked in the description box. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my ideas for this Rustic Country Christmas. We've got to add some old-fashioned candy canes to our little project video here. So I'm using these plastic candy canes and some ticking fabric that I had on hand. Now the plastic candy canes are some that I stocked up on many years ago when Dollar Tree would have them, so that's why they were in those packages. But you can find them on Amazon, and also I saw them at my Hobby Lobby in the Christmas section. And so if you're unable to find plastic candy canes like this, just do a little search online and you can find them pretty easily. So I just take just strips of the ticking fabric and then just glue around the candy cane, and just by adding different fabric to your candy canes will give you the different look that you want for your decor and for your home. To add a little bit more rusticness to it, I just took my vintage photo distress ink and my finger dauber and just go around each of the candy canes just to give it a little bit of rustic brown to each one of those. Okay, friends, here's the idea I had for this project. Now, I have, I ran across my box in my shed of these vintage rusty bed springs. Now, my father in law had taken apart a mattress many years ago and gave them to me. And of course, in true Tracy fashion, I used a couple and then just put them in a box and said, oh, I'll, use them later. Well, I ran across them and I have quite a few of them. And so I do have them listed in my shop over at countrycharmbytracy.shopify.com. If you want access to some vintage bed springs, I do have them available in my web store. And so I'll have a link for that in the description box below. Okay, to get my candy canes to kind of stand up in there, I just use floral wire just to tie them together. And I didn't want to attach them to the actual bed springs because I wanted the customer to be able to remove the candy canes if they didn't want to use them or if they wanted to use them in a different capacity. All right, so these are a lot of the things that I'm using for my kind of like my embellishments around the candy cane. And so I have some of this fabric, I have some greenery, berries, different things. Really, as I always say, the beauty is in the details. And just by adding and layering a lot of different things will give you kind of the look that you want. And so a lot of these things I got either at Hobby Lobby or off of Amazon, at different craft stores, and even Dollar Tree. Sometimes Walmart will have different like cedar looking greenery that I love to grab whenever I see it. And so the brown floral wire comes in really handy for making small bundles like that. And so that is what I am using in this project. Now, this cheesecloth is something that I had on hand and I got it at Hobby Lobby in the sewing section. And so I'm like, I'm really trying to use up some of the things that I have. And so that is something that I'm going to be using here in this project. Now, guys, this is how I made the ribbon homespun bow here. Now, I have this bow dabra. This is the mini bow dabra. It's a smaller one, very little tiny petite little thing, just perfect for projects like this. So I'm just taking strips of homespun fabric, just layering those back and forth, not stressing about it, and just putting that cheesecloth in there. I'll be adding some of that sisal grass and then just tying everything together with my floral wire. I decided my fabric was a little too stark, so I just took my vintage photo distress ink and just went around it with that, and just to give it a little bit of a brown and rustic touches. And I just added a sweet Christmas tag to each one of the little springs here. Like I said, I didn't want the candy canes to be attached. Therefore, I had them, or they're individual that can be taken in and out and that kind of thing. Guys, I have a few of these available, finished, ready to ship right now in my web store over at Country Charm by Tracy .shopify.com. I do appreciate your support. That is something that has been highly requested over the years, and I am finally doing it, offering some of my finished creations, and I will include the shipping anywhere in the 48 United States. And I appreciate the support, and I appreciate you checking it out. Okay, my sweet friends, I shared this picture with my empty tubes here on my social medias a few days ago and asked, hey, what do y'all think I'm going to be making with these cardboard tubes? Now, I get these from like Deco Mesh, and some of them are a little bit wider than others. These are the thinner ones, and so I am making peppermint sticks. So kudos, shout out. Give yourself a gold star if you were one of the ones that said peppermint sticks. I enjoyed reading all of your comments. A lot of got it right. Peppermint sticks here. There were a lot of nutcrackers and gingerbread house, and maybe some other things, even maybe some candles. That would be a wonderful idea, but I definitely had this kind of going already. But I am going to keep that in mind, because those larger tubes that I'm going to be using here in this project a little bit later on would be perfect pillar candles. So thank you so much for your guesses and for your suggestions. Now, guys, I'll be honest with you. I am not a nutcracker fan, and no shade to anybody that loves those little creatures. That is exactly what they are to me. They're kind of creepy to me, but if you love them, more power to you. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your support and playing along with me. All right, so guys, what I did, these thinner tubes, I just have some ticking fabric that I had on hand, and just ripped strips of it, and then just gluing it around these tubes just to make some thin peppermint sticks. Now, for the larger ones, these are also from Deco Mesh. They're just had thinner Deco Mesh on it. And so I have some duck cloth here. And so what I'm going to do is wrap these with duck cloth, and then those are going to be just some larger peppermint sticks. For the ends, I just cut off just a square of the duck cloth. Now, duck cloth is like canvas, but it's a little different, a little thicker, and just a little different. And so I actually found this in a remnant, probably at Hobby Lobby or either Walmart. I always like to check the sewing section for the remnants. It's like end of bolt or something like that, that they're just trying to clearance out their remaining fabric. Anyway, so I just glue that on the end of the tubes so that I have a solid surface. Then I'm just going to wrap it around several times, just hot gluing it. Since this tube is brown, I don't want that brown to show through, so I wrap it several times just to get the coverage that I want, and then I just trim off the ends of it. For the distressing, I am using some vintage photo distress ink and a baby wipe, and just going around the tube just to give it the kind of take the white off and give it the brown rusticness. Now, I could have coffee stained this or tea stained this, but I did not want to take the time to do that, to have it dry. So I just pulled out my vintage photo distress ink, and it does the trick. For the red part for the peppermint, I have this homespun fabric. Now, I get my homespun fabric usually at Hobby Lobby or Walmart, or JubileeFabric.com is an online place that you can buy beautiful homespun fabrics and or different patterns and that kind of thing. So I'll have a link for that in the description box below. So I am just just wrapping it around the tube, kind of gluing it here and there to tack it. And then I'm going to, for the thinner strip, I have a smaller piece or a smaller strip of the homespun fabric, and I kind of twist it and then glue it so it gives me that thinner strip for my peppermint stick. For the old-fashioned peppermint sticks tag, I'm just using some craft colored cardstock and then just a black Sharpie marker, several of them, the chisel point, the ultrafine, and the fine point Sharpie markers, and just hand lettering peppermint sticks with the chisel black Sharpie marker, and then I'll use the old-fashioned to do the smaller kind of different lettering that I want to do. I add my happy dots and all that good stuff. Now to add the white on the dots, I just use my dotting tools. Just I like to do that for my happy dots just to kind of add a little bit more interest and just to kind of bring my projects to life. It's kind of my signature. I've been doing this for many, many years. Those of you that have been with me kind of tell me, hey, I know it's yours because I see it and I know your style. And so I do appreciate all of those sweet compliments. So as you can see, just by adding some vintage photo distress ink, it just really kind of takes this tag from just a plain brown tag to a more rustic aged tag. And then I use my scissors just to tatter the edges of the tag, then crumple it up to give it a little bit more of an aged look that I like. For the hole, I just have this little small hole punch, and then I'm going to be adding some string to that once I get my peppermint sticks ready to go. I like to add a little sparkle to my projects, and so I'm just using my adhesive spray and my glitter and just adding that to my peppermint sticks. I'll do the large ones. I'll also do the thinner ones as well. Then once everything is done, I just tied a burlap bow on there. I just stuck some pine in there. I didn't glue the pine or anything down. I just have that stuck in there. I don't have I have it where it's where I can take it apart if I need to. And so then I just stuck it here in this tin bucket that I had and just added some garland greenery, just some cinnamon sticks. It's just amazing what that something that is meant for the trash that we can turn it into some holiday decor treasures on a budget. This wooden tree is from the Hobby Lobby Christmas unfinished wood section. I'll put the measurements there on the screen for you. Now, what I did is I didn't get it on film, but like I like to do is just take my antique wax by Waverly and a baby wipe and just gave it a stain over the entire tree. Now, these are the embellishments or the things I'm going to be putting on my tree to start decorating it. And so I have this vintage Christmas paper pack that I had in my stash. I also found this paper at Hobby Lobby. The vintage Christmas is also from Hobby Lobby. Now, the vintage truck, the transfer is from Essential Stencil. And if you have been following me for a while, you know, I love my Essential Stencil, just the rub-on transfers because they are absolutely gorgeous and they just take my projects from, you know, one level and then I add my little embellishments and it kicks it up a notch. So I'm going to show you how I did it here in this project. Now, what I did is I would just figured out which patterns I wanted for my tree. Now, this is like a slatted tree. And so I'm going to just, you know, be doing, putting 4 different types of paper on there, or 4 different patterns of paper, I should say, and just use Mod Podge just to attach that. once my paper was completely dry, I just took my Gator finger sander and just sanded off the edges just to give a nice clean finish. The beautiful antique truck here, or vintage truck here, is from Essential Stencil. This is a rub-on transfer. I absolutely love working with these transfers because they are so detailed, and just by using the transfer tool, I am just rubbing it so that it comes off. And like the plastic, I just kind of peel it back, take my time, and if some of the image doesn't come off, I lay it back down and then use my transfer tool just to go back over it until the entire thing comes off. Then I'll just take my little plastic and then just rub over it. That's called burnishing it. It kind of like, sets it. And so that just makes this look so cute. Then I'm taking my dark wax by Kills and I am just giving it some depth and dimension. That's what I like to do. Then just going around the entire tree just to add a little bit of rustic touches. I also like to add a little bit of a sparkle paint to my images, and just really kind of kicks it up a notch. This right here, I'll put which one I was using on the screen. This is, I think it's a Tulip brand, but I'll again put that on the screen what I'm using. That is for the shimmer for the whole image. Then I'm using my red stickles and just kind of dotting where the berries would be, and all of these are just glitter paint, and they just really take my projects. They're really cute already, but just by adding a little bit of this dimensional, paint just really kicks it up a notch. I'm going to be adding some stuff here at the bottom by adding also a rusty star there to the top. I had these large rusty stars on hand. I also have some greenery that I'm going to be making a kind of like a swag at the bottom, and just adding a rustic bow that I like now, like this little mini bow dabra, because it's very petite and just kind of holds my little ribbon here, my little fabric, just using some homespun fabric, just making a bow just back and forth. This is just how I make my little rustic bows here. That cheesecloth is something that I also got from Hobby Lobby in the sewing section. Adding in some sisal grass just to give it a little bit of a wispiness, and then tie it all off with my green floral wire. You can find that in my Amazon storefront. And then just adding all of this to the bottom of that tree, just adding some greenery, some pine, just some berries, all of that stuff. For the actual tree at the top, I put a raffia bow because it's not country if it doesn't have raffia, in my opinion. Hey, that's my opinion only. Anyway, I just absolutely love how this project turned out, and you can find this while it's available in my web shop, Country Charm by Tracy .shopify.com, as long as it's available. All right, we're creating a gingerbread decor piece here on this blue jean pocket. Now, I'll have a link in the description box below if you are unsure how to remove blue jean pockets from your actual blue jeans. Now, these are some that are tattered and worn and were going to be thrown away. And so I take these and I paint on them. And I've been doing this for years, guys. It's nothing new. There are a lot of people that do that. All you have to do is look at Pinterest. But I do appreciate so many friends sharing their versions of what I share here on my channel. And I love that I see a lot of my kind of like my whimsical touches floating around on Pinterest as well as on the web, because it is an honor that people like the look of it. And so then they decide to paint theirs as well. All right, guys. So what I'm using using is just some brown acrylic paint and milk chocolate here. And I ended up doing 2 coats for the brown. And so this jean pocket was a little thicker, so I didn't have to worry about it going through. But that's why I put that paper towel in there, because sometimes paint will bleed through and I didn't want it to bleed through the back. And so now what I'm doing is just taking a flat paintbrush and some warm white paint and just painting around the edges. All right, I have a friction pen here, and that is an erasable pen. Just by adding a little bit of heat to it, it will take the pen mark off. And so these are great for projects like this. Or I just kind of like air draw it out, and just to make sure that I have enough room. Well, I didn't give myself enough room, but it is okay because my projects are not perfect. And so once I start painting the Mary, and then I'm like, when I start on the Christmas, I'm like, Tracy, you did not leave yourself enough room, but I made it work, guys. And the thing is like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. And so I just add my little kind of like my little lettering with the happy dots, and then just add all of the different embellishments for my projects. And I always try to sign the back of my projects, put the year if I remember, and I love doing this, been doing this for years. So this glitter paint is from Tulip. I am just adding a little bit of that to my gingerbread face and just give it a little bit of shimmer for my blue jean pocket here. For the embellishments for my gingerbread pocket, I'm just going to be making some homespun candy canes just by ripping up strips of fabric, which is the homespun, and you can see it on both sides. I love using this in my projects. So just using some hot glue, I'm just going to wrap the candy canes with the fabric. Now, these candy canes are some that I had on hand. I got them at Dollar Tree years ago when they were selling them. I haven't seen them in the last few years, but I did see them on Amazon, the plastic candy canes, or I've also seen them in Hobby Lobby in the Christmas section. So there are other options if you don't have some of these plastic candy canes handy, if this is something that you want. All right, so then to kind of start layering or adding some kind of bundles to my little gingerbread pocket here, I have this green floral wire. Guys, I love working with floral wire. I have so many different colors. I have the tan, the dark brown, the green. I also have red and white, and I love it because it just is it's just something that just kind of ties our bundles together and keeps things all together. And so I'm just using some different pine and berries and all of that stuff just to add to the candy cane. Now, I decided I needed something for my little bundles to stick into, so I'm just cutting down some floral foam. I got this off of Amazon as well, and so I am just sticking that in my little blue jean pocket, and that is what I'm going to be sticking in my greenery there to my little gingerbread pocket. For an added wispiness, I'm using my Excelsior. Get this at Hobby Lobby. Just adding some of that to my pocket so that it kind of sticks out a bit. You know, I love that if you've been following me for any length of time. So then I'm just going to make a bow for this side of my little Gingy's head. I'm going to add some sisal grass to that bow as well. And this little project is just adorable. I just love uh, crafting and creating with blue jean pockets. I have made so many of them over the years. It really takes me back to my craft show days when I work with the blue jean pockets because I did them for so many years. And so I will leave a link for other blue jean pockets that I have done in the past. I'll leave a link for that for you in the description box below. All right, friends. So don't forget to head over to Linda's channel. Check out her Rustic Country Christmas DIYs that she has prepared for us today. I know it's going to be amazing because everything she does is absolutely adorable. I appreciate you watching. Have a blessed day. Merry Christmas from me and my family. God bless you. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.